Biggest institutions out there are buying Bitmine, Charles Schwab, JP Morgan, BitCapital, many more, and we will dive into each of those. What is the average price, what they do, why they did it, and so on and so forth. So stay tuned for this massive proof that Bitmine is just at the acceptance of the biggest institutions, and the big institutions buying now because they think that Bitmine will go one day $500.
Welcome to the game, I'm the wolf of Dubai.
Welcome to a brand new video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Danny and I'm looking for stocks that can go up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100x. I did this, for example, with Tesla. I bought Tesla at around like 20s. I had to average down with my life savings to about 11, and then the rest is obviously history. My subscribers bought houses and apartments, and that's why you should maybe stay subscribed to both of my channels as well as to my X account. Now, I never advertise any other product because I have my own x10daytrading.com where we trade for you, all done, all automatically. We did 2 trades this week already, 2 winners, so 100% win rate, 1 trade on Hood on Monday and 1 trade on Open Door on Tuesday. Okay, so we are selecting very high conviction trades only and send them directly to your portfolio, all with our software. If this is interesting for you, then check out the website. If you have $10,000 or more, schedule a call with me personally, and I see you obviously then for the call. And now let's dive into why it's important for Bitmine that institutions are actually increasing their stakes. Okay, so we know from Tom Lee's interviews that one of the biggest buyers of Bitmine shares, if they release new shares, are institutions. This is very important because it's less volatile. It shows you the stability. They can put a lot of stocks on the market. That's why they can grow so fast. So you can see here a lot of opportunities here for Bitmine because of institutions in the first place. But beside that, the normal buying of shares, you can also imagine that institutions are buying, because they think that this company will do very good in the future. Okay, so you have a company like JP Morgan invest like $106 million and say like, hey, you know what? We are buying this opportunity because we think in the future this $100 million will be $1 billion. And interestingly, it comes from a person, CEO Jamie Dimon, who's actually very against the Bitcoin, okay? But he's pro blockchain and he thinks the opportunity in Bitmine is tremendously, and that's why he's putting a bet. And this guy, he has already a legacy, okay? So he doesn't have to do that, but still he risked $100 million of JP Morgan to buy BMNR, okay? Now, let's dive in which other institutions are actually buying and who they are and how much they hold, okay? So when you look into Bitmine, you just look for Schwab, okay? So you can see here that Bitmine was purchased by Charles Schwab, the broker, the big bank out there in the US. They bought $88.9 million shares of Bitmine. They have about like 1.7 million shares, okay? So that means that 88 million divided by 1.7, they have an average of about like $51, $52. Okay, so that's one of the institutional investors. And why Charles Schwab is buying, I think they want to be part of the next generation of blockchain and Wall Street on blockchain and specifically, right? So they think and they see, okay, the companies, the Wall Street is going into that direction. So we want to have at least a part in, okay? Then you have also Bitmine, JP Morgan, right? So actually this is a news that we just talked about. They have $1.9 million shares, so a little bit more than Schwab at $102 million. Okay, that means that $102 million divided by 1.974, that means also they got an average about like 51. So as you can see, all those institutions are a little bit down from their purchase. Okay, so the next one was actually Vanguard. Vanguard is very famous for their fund of an S&P 500, right? So if you want to be in the S&P 500, you buy the VOO ticker symbol. That's the S&P 500, and they are actually, kind of leader in big funds and money placements. So it's very, very interesting that they bought so much of Bitmine. Okay, so let's have a look. You can see here they bought about $222 million worth of Ethereum, which is quite crazy. Okay, so the biggest holder now in terms of Vanguard. And the funny part is that they went from very anti-crypto to now pro-crypto in Bitmine. Okay, so they bought also other treasury companies like Sharplink, Ethila, and so on. So the total was 222 millions. Okay, so which is quite insane if you think about that way. Okay, so now the next one is something that is close to Germany, which is BitCapital. Okay, BitCapital is one of the best investment funds in Europe, and they actually just disclosed another $106 million investment for 2 million shares of Bitmine. So as you can see already by the numbers, it's already a little bit cheaper that they got in. So let's calculate the average price and see if they are cheaper or more expensive than JP Morgan or Schwab. So they purchased here 106.8 million divided by 2.056. So that means that they bought at around like 52 average price of Bitmine. So as you can see, all of the institutions have something in common. Okay, first of all, they keep on buying Bitmine in those areas at around 50. So if you are holding any average price around like 50, below 50, a little bit higher than 50, you are in the same boat. Then those institutions buy essentially those incredible assets of Bitmine. Okay, so I think that this is very interesting because sometimes you feel like, oh, my average is too high, I bought a little bit too early. It was probably after it went down, maybe they buy even more because institutions not only make one position but make multiple positions over a period of time. And always when we see that announcement, that's already a couple of weeks ago. So imagine the BitCapital or JP Morgan when they bought at 50, and now the price went further down to 37 at the lowest point, as you remember, a couple of days ago. Then most probably they bought a little bit more. Okay, and we will know in about like maybe 30 days or 60 days when the SEC is requiring them to disclose their positions, and then we will see, okay, now JP Morgan holds double that amount, or those things are a little bit transparent on the one side on Wall Street, but on the other side we need to wait to have those information. So if you like that and you want more of Bitmine, then make sure to subscribe. Make sure to check out xnDayTrading.com when you want us to trade for you. As you have seen, 2 of 2 trades this week, 100% win rate. If you want to be part of that, then make sure to check it out. And I see you obviously tomorrow for a brand new vlog. And remember, the grass is greener always on the other side.